So I had this comment asking about how do I eat near 4,000 calories pretty regularly at 75 kilos without it making it feel like a chore? And it's kind of a fair question. The truth is my genetics do not want me to hold any weight, dude. Like, this is me in high school. My body genetics probably want me to be like 60 kilos, but I need to be at about 75 for my sport as far as maintaining strength levels. So how do I do this without making it feel like a full-time job? My name's Shay, I'm a nutritionist and an international level athlete, and I believe there's two things that are really just gonna change the game for you. I'm not getting too much into food choices today, but if you can master these two concepts, eating a lot is gonna be so much easier and it's not gonna make your life miserable. The number one big concept here is larger meals. Now it seems like, okay, well yeah, I gotta eat larger meals to eat more, but think about it. How do these pro eaters eat? How do they stomach 84 hot dogs? I mean, you probably want to shed a few tears to get those last few down, but they preheat the oven, right? They have a not necessarily high calorie, but high volume meal in the morning, which really makes the stomach temporarily stretch out a bit, which makes the bigger meals more accommodating. So how do we apply this? Well, I really believe in 2 meals, maybe 3, if you're trying to eat more food. A lot of these bodybuilders are like, oh, you gotta eat 8 meals a day, dude, if you want to gain weight. No, that's gonna make your life miserable. You're also just wasting so much time because you're meal prepping all the time. You have to sit down 8 times a day to eat. It's like, what sort of life is this? And the thing is that they're like, oh, you need protein every hour. It's like, okay, well, if you have larger meals to start with, the amino acid curve within your body, in your bloodstream, it stays high for a long time because it's kind of like a drip feed, because that larger meal will absorb slower. So you kind of have the same effect as frequent meals, except you don't hate your life. So that's worth something. For me, this usually means like an early lunch and a decent dinner as well. And dude, just trust me, like, your life is gonna be so much easier because you're not bloated all the time, and by the time mealtime rolls around, you're actually receptive to it. If you're eating all the time trying to bulk and force feed, not only are you bloated, as I said, but you're just dreading trying to have to choke down the next meal because your stomach's staying small because all the meals are small. So it's never really that accommodating for more food. Whereas if your stomach is like conditioned to these larger meals, it's just way easier to get down, and it feels like your body is just way more receptive to it. You just feel good after the meal instead of like trying to choke down that extra meal for the day, and your mental clarity just goes down the drain, dude. It's not fitness 2015. Try this, give it a go. If it doesn't work, fair enough, but give it a go for a week. I'd love to see some comments saying I tried this and it's fantastic for like actually gaining a bit more weight, because it is counterintuitive. Why would you try 2 meals if you're trying to gain weight? But then you're like, oh, okay, this is the way. The second major part here is understanding the concept of palate fatigue. Basically, your palate gets fatigued, is in the name, who knew, when you're eating the same thing for too long, and it incentivizes you to change and eat something else during that meal. And this is actually a biological mechanism, because you don't want to be eating the same thing all the time, because then you're only getting a narrow range of nutrients. So palate fatigue allows us to eat a whole range of things, get a whole range of nutrients, and theoretically be in better health. But it also allows us to eat McDonald's and then a whole cheesecake and then, I don't know, some fried chicken afterward, but I guess our ancestors didn't have to deal with that, but well, we do. So basically trying to choke down like 2,000 calories of one dish, it's just brutal. Your brain and your palate just get so fatigued and sick of it. It's like, dude, I don't want to eat any more chicken, broccoli, and rice unless dessert entails me throwing myself off a cliff. If you are enjoying, please be sure to drop a like and consider subscribing. If you do, you'll spawn in with 200 calories already eaten for the day. I promise. It's a whole lot easier to have like 800 calories of this than 500 of that, 500 that, and maybe you're sipping something that's 200 calories. That sounds reasonable, right? What do you know? It's 2,000. The total's for 2,000. And it wasn't that hard. So basically for me, this means I might have like a regular dish. I'll pull it up on screen. So this is just like my chili con carne sort of thing. Chili beans, beef, olive oil, lentils, tomato, some vegetables on rice with some sour cream. It's pretty high calorie. And then I'll follow that up with, believe it or not, some crunchy salted peanut butter on salt and vinegar rice cakes. That's just like, your palate just, it's like, what is this, dude? Absolute 180 from what you were eating before, and you can just stomach more food, dude. So like, try some interesting combinations. Go to the grocery store, be like, okay, I don't usually eat this stuff, but let's just give it a run, dude. Who knew peanut butter with salt and vinegar would work? But it's a good vehicle for the peanut butter, so we move. And another good note here is don't fully exhaust your hunger signaling on one thing before you move on, because by the time you do that, you just don't want to eat anything. So leave a bit in the tank. It's like, oh, I'm starting to get a little bit sick of this Homo erectus on rice, but you know, cookie could go with that. But yeah, I like that food model for my dinner, and then I might sip with like, you know, some lemon concentrate with, you know, some water in there for that vitamin C, increase all the mineral absorption, and maybe have whatever else afterward to make up the numbers and calories. And it's just pretty easy. It doesn't feel like a chore to eat. Sometimes I do overeat and feel like I've put myself in the hole, but you just gotta know where that boundary is. So those are the two big concepts I really believe are gonna help you eat more. Man, it used to be so hard. I'd be looking at bulking foods, and you can find like what foods are going to be high calorie but low satiation, which is what you want for bulking. There's so much information out there, but if you don't follow these two things, it's still going to be really tricky, right? So a couple of the notes though, if you are eating 2 meals, just make sure that second one is ideally brought back a little bit from sleep, because as I said, these bigger meals are going to absorb slower, and if you're trying to metabolize everything overnight, it can be a bit of an impact on your sleep. Also, insulin sensitivity is kind of weaker in the evening, so maybe don't like fill yourself with sugar later on. Just be wary of that. But honestly, like, consider, do you really even, if you know kind of what your baseline eating is, do you even really need to track? I know that sounds heinous, but we're looking up to these like fitness people, but most of them have eating disorders, so do you really want to copy what they're doing? You know, it's kind of an issue, right? For a lot of us, it's really not necessary to commit to a full bulk. Like, I don't feel like I need to do that too much anymore, just because I'm where I need to be for my sport, but just consider that. But anyway, that's been me. Let me know if you enjoyed, let me know if this was helpful, but I will see you in the next one.